Rohingya issue, if you ask me, the core problem of the Rohingya issue is the inability of the Myanmarese government to recognize these people as citizens of their country, although they have been living there for centuries. Prior to this mass exodus, which started only 6 weeks ago, there were already about 300,000 Rohingya refugees who have been living in camps in Bangladesh since 1978. Bangladesh does not have any problem with Myanmar, any bilateral problem. The only issue between Bangladesh and Myanmar was the demarcation of the maritime boundary. And that problem has been resolved with the help of UN Conference on the Law of the Sea Arbitration Code. Just few months before, they decided to give the same arbitration in case of Bangladesh and India. So Bangladesh has well demarcated maritime border with both Myanmar and India. And we do not have any bilateral issue with Myanmar. Bangladesh also has about 2 million non-Bengali tribal people who have settled in the Chittagong hill tracts for last few centuries. Some of them are Chakmas, some are Marmas, some are Tipras. Most of them came from Myanmar side. Some also came from the northeast India, like Manipuri, like Nagas, Kukis, etc. But they have their full citizenship and they are fully settled in our country. What we saw after this particular incident, which was termed as anti-terrorist campaign, suddenly hundreds of thousands of people started fleeing and taking shelter in our area. Initially, we tried to stop it. I will be quite frank. Initially, we tried to stop it. But the influx was so huge that we could not resist it for too long. And as of today, the UN figure is, I think 582,000 refugees have taken shelter in Bangladesh. And the statistics that I read is about 60% of the refugees who have taken shelter are women and children. And a large number of them are also elderly people. Yesterday I saw a statistics, 14,000 of them are orphans who do not have any parents, alive parents even, and they were just rescued by some neighbors and taken to our side. So UN Secretary General has termed this particular humanitarian disaster as a humanitarian disaster of catastrophic proportion. The UNHCR boss has also called it a textbook case of ethnic cleansing. Currently, a head of International Organization of Migration is visiting Bangladesh, and he was taken to those camps yesterday. And if I am not mistaken, in today's paper, I think I saw it somewhere, he was comparing this with other refugee questions because that is his main area of activity. And today's paper, it says the Rohingya crisis is worse than Syria's, says IOM chief, basically. And he has also mentioned that it is a man-made crisis and naturally it needs a political solution. My Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, when she went to the UN, she submitted a 5-point plan for a resolution of the problem. And in the 5-point plan, she has suggested that number one, all hostilities in the Rakhine and Arakan era against all communities must be stopped forthwith. Secondly, she had requested that the UN team should be allowed to visit this area and to see for themselves the conditions prevailing over there. Thirdly, she has said these people should be given an opportunity to live in a safe zone, should be created where they could live with dignity and honor under UN supervision. And then fourth point she said was the sustainable repatriation of the refugees. And the fifth point she talked about is the implementation of the Kofi Annan Commission's report. Now the Kofi Annan Commission report, let me clarify, is not a UN commission, it is basically a Myanmarese commission. Kofi Annan was asked to chair this group to add certain credibility. And that commission's report offers a solution to the Rohingya crisis. It is not a comprehensive solution, but it is an interim solution. It only talks about giving them a chance to settle and to reside there with dignity and honor and security, and paving the way for their eventual citizenship. During the last 1 month, the Myanmarese minister had visited Bangladesh. We did discuss with him because the last repatriation between Bangladesh and Myanmar took place in 92, and the 92 formula, we said we could work on that, but there has been a change of position. Myanmar is still studying that proposal for the last 1 month. The UN team has not been allowed to visit Myanmar. And every day 15 to 20,000 people are coming to Bangladesh to take shelter. Yesterday, I saw some reports that another 30 villages have been burned down. And UN was telling us another 100,000 people are waiting for moving to Bangladesh. Bangladesh-Myanmar border still remains in a very tense kind of condition. They have heavily mined the entire border, keeping only 40 miles open. Rest of the areas have been mined. There have been serious accidents also. The Myanmaris have violated our airspace number of times, but our foreign minister and our prime minister has already expressed their resolve that we would like to resolve this issue politically and peacefully.